So we're about to wrap up the end of the regular season for the WNBA with the playoffs starting this Sunday. So we do have all 8 teams that are going to be in the playoffs. So let's look at the current playoff picture. So for the first matchup, we have Nafisa Collier and the Minnesota Lynx facing Nega Ogumike and the Seattle Storm. Now we all know that the Minnesota Lynx has been making some noise for the entire season, being the most dominant team in the league. But we cannot forget about the fact that the Seattle Storm has been making some noise for the past few weeks. Nevertheless, though, I do think that the Lynx are going to dominate, and I do think that they are going to sweep in the first round. Now, the next matchup is between Alicia Gray and the Atlanta Dream facing the new expansion team, the Golden State Valkyries. Now, both teams have, of course, had such great seasons, with the Golden State Valkyries in their inaugural season in the WNBA making it to the playoffs. And then we have the Atlanta Dream that were able to jump from being 5th or 6th in the standings, jumping all the way up to 2nd in the standings. So even though I do think that this series is going to go to 3, I don't think that this is going to be a sweep. I still think Atlanta is going to win. Now, next, we do have Asia Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces facing Aaliyah Boston and the Indiana Fever. Now, the Aces did start out with a slower season, but they were able to make such a great run to be able to be a top 3 team in the league. And then the Indiana Fever, despite missing out on the superstar player Caitlin Clark for the majority of the season, they were still able to find their rhythm for the entire season. Now, with this matchup, especially with Asia and with Jackie, I do think the Fever are going to be swept because I just think that between Asia and Jackie and the likes, it's just going to be too much for Indiana to be able to handle. And then last but not least, we have Alyssa Thomas and the Phoenix Mercury facing Brianna Stewart and the New York Liberty. Now, I think this is going to be a great matchup. I think that this is going to go to 3 games. I think we're going to have a battle between the 2 teams, and ultimately, I do think that the New York Liberty are going to win. I just think between Brianna and Sabrina and Jonquel, it's just going to be too much for Phoenix to be able to handle at the very end in the stretch when it matters. But I do think that is going to be such a great series to watch. So I cannot wait for the WNBA playoffs to start this Sunday. What do you think?